Good morning, everyone. This is Jeannie, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how the Lord answered prayer in my life 3 years ago, I believe it was. And I think I was pretty desperate. And I know I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I just thought that for this Sunday morning, I wanted to do a video to encourage anyone who is out there and just bringing things before the Lord and asking Him for direction and guidance and answers, healing, whatever it is. I think it's important to encourage each other in these things. And maybe something I say will encourage someone out there. But, and this is about the kind of diet I'm on now. And it's not to convince anybody that this is the right thing for you to do. I don't know. I have my own doctors. I have what my doctors told me was good for me. And you need to get your own doctors as well. So, I began to have maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. It must have been longer than that because I was working, and I've been retired now for 9 years or so. And my sister was a nurse, so I would ask her some questions too. And at night after work, my legs would begin to hurt, and I wasn't really on my feet a lot working at the hospital. I had a desk job, and I did my stretches every day. I did my cardio every day. But at night, my legs would begin to ache and hurt, and my sister would say, well, elevate them. That's what she did. She was a nurse. She was on her feet a lot. And so I would elevate my legs, my feet at night after work, and it didn't seem to be working. Well, I could still live with it, it didn't keep me up at night or anything, but it became almost unbearable. Maybe, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, I went 2 whole years after I retired, after about 10, 15, 20 minutes in bed, after I went to bed at night, I would feel my legs aching. And that's one reason why I got a chair, so I could just stay up at night and sleep in my chair and keep my legs kind of down on a footstool, like in a recliner. And they would stop hurting when I had my legs lowered. Well, this lasted for 2 years where I just didn't get any sleep. 2 years, no sleep at night. Always groggy and, trying to figure out what to do. And then when I'd get up in the morning, I'd forget all about it because, yes, I was tired, but I began to dread going to bed at night and feeling that same aching feeling. I had no idea what it was. I thought the worst. I was about to go to the doctors to find out, because pain is an indicator that there's something wrong. And I was really scared. Well, I began to pray about it. Why I waited that long, I have no idea. But, I probably prayed somewhat, but not really down on my knees beseeching the Lord and asking the Lord to show me exactly what's going on. So, going to bed still every night, legs aching, dreading going to bed because I knew I wouldn't sleep much until I was completely exhausted. And my husband had word from his endocrinologist that he was possibly within 6 months of being full-blown diabetic, and that if he didn't lose weight, he would be on either the medicine or shots. And it pretty much threw him for a loop. So he began to get serious about changing his cholesterol and his numbers and even though we were eating healthy, we weren't eating badly. We know about health. We're from California. So he started doing research on diabetes and how you're supposed to eat, and he started listening to this YouTuber called Beat Diabetes, and I'll put a link below. So he listened to him and he began to follow his protocol in eating, and it was just it was eliminating sugar, any kind of processed foods, and eating meats, cheese, not a lot of cheese, practically eliminating vegetables and fruit, because that adds onto your glucose, which is sugar. No bread, nothing, eggs, lots of eggs. And he is regularly tested for his blood work through his cardiology, through his primary care physician, and of course through his endocrinologist. So he would have these regular blood works done every 3 months, it seemed, from somebody. And he saw over a period of time, I think it was 6 months, within 6 months, his numbers began to come down, way down, and they were delighted. They were excited. All his doctors were extremely pleased with what he was doing, and he told them what he was doing, and they said, well, you know, numbers don't lie. So because I saw his weight loss there, I got really jealous. I was upset. So I said, I'm going to do the same thing. We can all lose a few pounds, right? I can. So I began the very same lifestyle diet as he did. And I really can't remember exactly what he did. It's in that video. Mine was different. But at first, I started in June a couple of years ago, and the way he was eating, and let me take a sip. But it wasn't working for me. It took me 3 months, and I saw maybe 1 or 2, 3 pounds coming down, and my legs were, still hurting. I only did it to lose weight. So I thought, okay, my metabolism is completely different than my husband's. My blood is completely different. Everything's different because we're individuals. So I thought to myself, okay, if this perfect way of eating doesn't work for me, something's wrong. What am I going to do? And of course, I was still praying about my legs hurting at night. And this didn't have anything to do with that. It was weight loss for me. So I decided to go out. We go to thrift stores every now and then, and I decided if I ever see a book on the Atkins diet, I'm going to get it, because I remember way back in the 90s, whenever that was popular, I went on it because everybody in the office was on it, and so I got my own books, got rid of them, of course, after a few years, because I didn't really need them. I mean, I was like 105. I didn't need to be on a diet, but I did it because everybody else did. So I did find some copies of the Atkins diet, and I began to read them, and the books were all about butter, sweeteners, healthy sweeteners. Well, now it's healthy sweeteners. No sugar, eggs, meat products with healthy fats. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to count up to 45 carbs, which seemed a lot to me. And I began to do that diet. And the fats in the diet keep you full. You don't get hungry. And I had nuts, pecans, eggs, bacon, steaks, hamburg patties, full fat hamburg patties, and really nothing else. And as the time went on, I think after just a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days, I suddenly realized I was sleeping all night. I wasn't being woken up by my legs hurting. Nothing hurt. My thumb joints stopped hurting. I play the piano. Well, I play the piano, and my fingers didn't hurt. But the most interesting thing was my legs stopped hurting. And I thought, wow. And I was losing weight. I think I lost, immediately like 5 or 6 pounds, yet I was still eating animal products. So I continued on this way of eating and reading the books and getting re-familiar with the books of, it's not Scarsdale's, Atkins. And remember Scarsdale? That was part of it too, I think. So I began thinking, wait a second, there's something to this. And I realized that the Lord was beginning to answer my prayer on aches and pains, inflammation. That's what it was that I had. And a long time ago, I went to who's a very well-known nutritionist, medical doctor. But if I said his name, you'd all know who it was. And he told me that he did my blood work all the time. I was very anemic during that time when everybody in the office went on this diet thing. And I needed a nutritionist. So I went to him, had my blood work done, and he said that my blood is the type who needs meat. Eat steak and you'll sleep better at night. And I did eat steak then, and I did sleep better at night, but this is way before my aches and pains. I was way younger. So I began to remember what this doctor had told me, and it all came together. It all made sense. I even practiced. I tried eating toast and I think an English muffin and I don't know, a few more carbs. That night, my legs began to hurt again. It was the same old feeling. I think I had even had some sugar, which I hadn't been on in a long time. So I feel like this was a complete answer to my prayers about what was going on with my body, why I couldn't sleep at night, and it was actually quite miraculous. And I'm not telling you this to get you guys to get on this kind of a diet because everybody's different. My husband can only have chicken and fish. He can't really have a whole lot of meat, steaks and beef because of his heart. So you have to kind of talk to your doctor about what is good for you depending on your blood work. And that's what I did. So during the month of May, my birthday, and when I was getting all my braces off, I decided I was going to have a celebration. One of my favorite foods is brownies, and I had not had brownies in probably 3 years. No sugar, nothing, no chocolate. Well, I made myself a big pan of brownies to eat after I got my braces off, and a bag of potato chips and, other foods. And it was my celebration of my birthday, getting my braces off, and I ate that food. That night, all of a sudden, I could not sleep. My legs began aching and hurting. I can't mess up. I can't just go back to eating this way at all. The good way. The yummy way of eating. I can't. I want to, but I can't. No more English muffins, nothing. Evidently, something happens to me when I eat wrong for me. So I was just amazed that the Lord, I don't know if He healed me or just opened my eyes and redirected my plan of how I eat, because I have never had another problem unless I go back to eating normal processed foods. If I eat that way, I can't sleep, my legs hurt, my joints hurt, I feel awful. And along the way, when I did go back and eat brownies and potato chips, and I think I took about almost a month of eating that way, I gained, I think, 5 or 6 pounds. And so after that, I stopped it completely and decided I'm going to eat the way the Lord directed me to eat. Healthy foods, no sugar, no processed food, no potato chips, no brownies, no cake, nothing like that. No English muffins, my favorite food. But I do eat a lot of eggs. I have bacon and sausage and steaks at night, and no potatoes. If I do have carbohydrates, I'll have a half a sweet potato, and I haven't noticed any weight gain or aching or inflammation, but I don't have it every night anymore. I used to have it every night, a sweet potato, but I don't now. I maybe have it twice a week. So I just wanted to encourage you guys, if you have something going on, and I had another problem that went on for 20 years. I can't even talk about it though, because it wasn't, it affected our family, but it wasn't me having it directly. So it's, it's something else that's private. The Lord answered that prayer too. And God answers our prayers. He hears us when we cry out to Him. He hears us and He honors our prayers. It might not be an immediate answer, but don't give up on praying and asking the Lord for direction to show you what to do. I didn't even do this way of eating for my leg aches to stop, and that was my prayer. I did it to lose a few pounds, which I did, and since then I've lost quite a bit of weight, and I'm going to continue eating this way, and if weight comes off, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But the Lord did answer my prayer, because I know it says in the Word to ask and ye shall receive. What does that mean? It means to ask. Ask the Lord. Nothing is selfish if you do it because you need it, because you are relying on your Heavenly Father to help you through a hard time. If you're going through financial problems or family problems or health problems, ask the Lord, get down on your knees and humble yourself before the Lord and go into His gates with praise and thanksgiving. That's how you begin. You don't make demands of the Lord. You go humbly before His throne with praise and thanksgiving for all He has blessed you with, and humble yourself before Him. And then make your requests made known unto Him. And He will direct your path. He will show you the way. He'll open up doors for you. He will cause things to happen. When I was praying about our huge problem a long time ago, I went to my uncle, who was a pastor of a huge church in the Midwest. And I said, how come it's taking years for the Lord to answer this prayer of mine? And this other prayer, not my legs. And he said the Lord sometimes has to set things up in His order. And sometimes these things take time. So eventually the Lord did answer that prayer, but it took time. And other prayers are instantaneously answered. Other prayers, like my legs, it was just a few days. And I just thank the Lord for that. I'm sleeping really well. I sleep like a rock, except for my puppies who like to wake me up sometimes if they're having stomach aches or, something like that. But I sleep really well. I don't have any joint pains. I do my stretches every morning. I do cardio. I do weights. I walk back and forth in the backyard. I usually wear my Fitbit so I can make sure I do 3,000 steps at least a day, which sometimes I don't. And I drink lots and lots of water. I feel like the Lord also told me, I know that sounds strange, that for every cup of coffee I drink 2 cups of water. So this is a water thing. I got this on Amazon. And if you fill it up twice, you can kind of see your progress as you drink it. And it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm at the 10 o'clock mark right now. And so between 10 and 11, I'll drink that much. So I love this bottle. It's called Hydration Nation. It's a couple of years old. But I fill it up twice around noon. I'll fill it up again and then try to drink it all. I don't drink it all, but I try. Sometimes I get all busy and I forget. So that is my answer to prayer. And I just thank the Lord for showing himself to me when I really, really need him. And he's done that. We have some more prayer requests right now going on. And my husband always tells me, just trust the Lord. Just trust him. Have faith that he's going to take care of these things. One thing my husband and I have always done in our 51 years of marriage is we try to keep a miracle book, written down what we've prayed about and then see how the Lord has answered and, how long it took and all that. And sometimes it's good to go back and see the miracles the Lord has brought us through. We have a lot of miracles so that when we are in a place where we need divine intervention, we need the Lord to answer our prayers and look down and basically just answer our prayers. We look back at these books and journals that we have and we see and remember how the Lord has truly answered our prayers. He will answer your prayer if you humble yourself and go to him. So I just wanted to encourage all of you to do this. And that is my personal miraculous story. And there are many, but this is the most recent, huge miracle. I didn't think anything would heal my sleeping at night, but the Lord did. He showed me what to do. And he will show you too. So I know prayer requests are very personal sometimes. So if you guys have an unspoken prayer request, put it in the comments and we can all pray for each other and then come together another time and share with each other, one another, how the Lord has answered our prayers. So thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you guys so, so much. You're such a big part of my life, and I will keep praying for you, and the Lord bless you and keep you, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.